Now we are going to start with new other practices to be able to work with change. Massaging is really, really great for letting go of stress and also for letting go of toxins. So, health is a state of balance. And when we get angry or overwhelmed, tired, depressed, all these negative responses, it generates a state of unease. And if we don't do something about that state of unease at the emotional level, then it generates a state of disease and it shows somewhere in our body. And or maybe it doesn't allow us to sleep, or it just really affects the general homeostasis, the general balance of the body. So massaging is a way of letting go of that stagnation. And I love using just my hands, plain hands, massaging my, here in the left, the stomach and the spleen. The spleen is a major organ of the um, immune system, and it, according to the Chinese medicine, it gets very much affected by worrying, by obsessive thinking, continuous thinking about problems and our story on the problems that make them even greater, with possibilities of what might happen in the future, etc. So on the one hand, we take this deep breath that we were doing this morning, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. And we massage. We bring our attention and intention to the area that we want to dispel the stagnation there. For example, in this case, it would be stomach and spleen. And we could use the other hand for massaging the liver and the gallbladder. These are more affected by anger. So we massage both sides with the palms and combine it with inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. With una sonrisita and a small, gentle smile in your lips. It helps to relax your face and it helps to relax your vagus nerve, which is connected to the muscles in your face. The vagus nerve is this long nerve that goes from the end of the brain all along your spine and has ramifications in your lungs and your heart, and also at the stomach, spleen, liver, gallbladder, and even further down, all the way down to the colon. So, smiling is very good for triggering the parasympathetic nervous system response of relaxation. So, let's massage both sides. Inhale like sign, exhale a long exhalation, long, complete, until you completely empty yourself of your worries or whatever is stagnant there. Just let it go with your exhalation. With great compassion for yourself and without judging how quickly or not the things leave you, but just repeating again, inhaling like sign, massaging and having this long exhalation just for the pleasure of it. We are going to do just three more. Allow the exhalation to be completed and then inhale like sign. Inhale hope, inhale inspiration, inhale spaciousness, exhale feeling that constricted self, those fears, those worries. Right now, you are okay. So let's just great. It's also very relaxing to massage the area of your lungs and your heart with these healing hands that we all have. They are using Reiki, they are using many other systems, and even in the Bible, uh, Jesus used the hands to heal. And really, we all have it, at least to help ourselves, right? And it's a way of bringing our attention and intention and getting that energy that's congested in the head because of so much thinking, just lowering it so that we can find some sense of grounding. And for that, we are going to gently massage our lungs and our heart. Also, inhaling like sighing, exhaling through barely parted lips, massaging one way and then changing hands and massaging the other way. Totally present on the touch that your hands are giving to the area of your lungs. And let's smile to our lungs and our heart and imagine that they are smiling back to us. With great compassion, again, we change hands, we are still inhaling, exhaling, letting go of tensions, and smiling to our heart and lungs with great compassion for all that is in our life right now. And smiling to these organs, and they feel, wow, she's remembering me, she's remembering us. Let's smile back. And you feel a little bit of softening there, she or him, but yes, yes. So that technique of the smile is called the inner smile, and there is a technique that is smiling to each one of your organs as you massage and imagining that the organs smile back. And the Chinese give great importance to five vital organs, which are the lungs, the heart, the spleen, the liver, and the kidneys. And so we are also going to massage the kidneys, which are at the level of our waist, in the back near the spine. And we can massage with the hands like this or with the hands like this. Whew. Combining with inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, with or without sound. And kidneys are affected by fear. And fear is a very natural emotion that we all feel sometime or other. And it's a call to, okay, maybe something needs to be taken care, but often it just keeps feeding on itself and it ends up depleting us. So with great compassion for our fear and all that, we'll try to find in another of the practices we're going to do today, this afternoon, what is that fear is asking to be nurtured for. What is it asking to, what kind of message is trying to give us? I mean, beyond that overwhelming sensation that we sometimes have by adding more stories, the basic fear, what is trying to tell us, and how could we nurture directly that, so that not the fear itself, but the need that the fear is pointing to, like stress. Somebody I heard once, an amazing teacher at the Berkeley Buddhist Monastery, where I also teach. He was saying stress is showing you where is that you still need to grow. It's notice what flavor is your stress, and it will point to something where you have an opportunity to grow. He wasn't talking to me, he was talking to all of us. We all, I think, resonated with it. And I think fear is a little bit more acute than stress, but it's also pointing to something where we need to understand better the moment of the journey in which we are, or the journey of the moment in which we are, and trust that we belong to something bigger than the situation, so that we can raise up above the situation, but remembering our immortal self, our higher self, our higher ways of understanding, the fact that we are embodied spirit and that our life is a journey of awakening to our capacities for compassion, for understanding, for resilience, for learning how to take care of ourselves emotionally and physically, and also how to be with others. So we're also going to do something today about that. It's a rich session today, this afternoon. So besides doing the massage with the hands, which I always love and do several times a day, water is boiling, I remember my kidneys, water, I massage my kidneys, or I'm wearing a lot, and then I take a moment and massage my spleen, and since I'm there, also the liver, or I'm starting to be triggered and anger and whatever, and I think I don't want to drink this poison, massage my liver. So it's a multi approach of combining your intention and attention, uh, vortexes of energy which are around your vital organs, release points, breath. Uh, Sometimes, like I do many things, I teach at Cal, and I do the Saturday workshops, and I do these kinds of workshops, and I have some other writing and obligations and deadlines, whatever. So sometimes I'm really low in energy. And something that helps is tapping, and something else that helps is doing an Ayurvedic massage. For example, I use this oil. I don't know if you can see it. Hydrix oil. It has, what does it have? Sesame and I don't know, some other components. It's from Ayurveda world, and that's part of the Ayurveda Institute in Mamadona. So I use a little bit of this. You could just use sesame oil too, but um, this blend I particularly like. And I warm it up by warming a little bit of warm water in a pan, and then I put some of this in a glass bottle from astragalos or whatever other things that I have taken and finished, some empty bottle that has a drop counter or whatever. And I put that bottle within the hot water, not while it's boiling, but after the water has boiled, I take the pan with the hot water, and then I put the bottle with some of this there so it gets warm. And with that warmer oil, I massage my joints, especially the shoulders also, where sometimes I tend to have quite a bit of tension, and the joints here at the shoulders, at the elbows, at the wrists, and also joints in the hips and the kneecaps and the ankle bones, and the feet with warm oil, massaging. When you massage your feet, you are giving a massage to your whole body. The same when you are massaging your hands, your whole body is represented in your hands, and your whole body is represented in your ears. So it's very comforting to have a massage, an oil massage. It takes a little bit longer, and it's a little bit more complicated than just massaging like this. So most days I just do this, and once in a while I do this other one. And yeah, if you go into mamadonna.org, Ayurveda World, you can find this.
What is that address, Amelia?
You just go to mamadonna.org, and within it you get to Ayurveda World.
Okay.
Ayurveda World, and there they have the different oils. They have this. They have amla oil, which traditionally in India has been used against uh, hair loss, which happens also sometimes when we are wearing a lot and hair starts falling more than usual. Good to also have a more healthy hair, amla. So amla is AMLA. Yeah, so that's a whole other complementary discipline, Ayurveda, which comes also from many, many thousands of years in India. So, massage, dry massage, please, every day. Promise? Every day. Great. You see how amazing it is. I mean, this is the marvel of these practices, that they are so available, they are totally free. You have them with you in your hands. It's just a question of remembering and start retraining yourself in the way you respond to change, in the way you respond to transitions. You respond to what in Buddhism is called, when life throws you an arrow, you can start immediately trying to get that arrow out, or you can hit yourself with other arrows. Why me? Why now? Why that person? What's going to happen in the future? What in the past? And you just end up with lots of other arrows that are beyond the actual situation. It's a lot more of things that you have put. And sometimes it's strange, because sometimes our conditioning makes us more go towards hitting ourselves more with arrows than to stop immediately and say, I'm not going to judge this person. I'm not going to judge the situation. I'm just going to realize I don't want to drink this poison. And also that this is an amazing opportunity for me to practice retraining myself, how I respond to change or how I respond to challenges. And I'm going to need that. And I'm going to need that every time more, because we are all aging and because we are all living in a very complicated world. So if we are thinking, I'm going to be happy when everything is going fine, nobody's going to bother me, I'm going to be able to fly everywhere, I'm going to, nobody's going to interrupt me, and well, probably it's not going to happen. It's like saying, I'm not going to walk until there is some kind of a carpet on top of all the world so that I can walk on the carpet. Well, sorry, there's still going to be rocks and puddles and rain. So you better find some other way of dealing with all this impermanence, which is part of life. So we have 5 points that the Chinese have discovered through thousands and thousands of years of experimentation. And it forms like the shape of a little house. The top point is where the spine meets the line of the skull. And that one is called wind mansion. So if you follow your spine and you have the line of the skull, and here would be wind mansion. Okay, that's the top of the roof of the house. Then there are 2 points where would be the base of these 2 lines, right? Like if a child is drawing. And those 2 other points are called gates of consciousness. And they are, if you follow the line of the skull from the wind mansion point, the skull has a little bit of a curve, and then you have 2 indentations there. So this is wind mansion, and then along the skull here are the 2 indentations, gates of consciousness. All right? Find your own skull and find those 2 indentations. Sometimes if you put your head a little bit back, you can notice them better. Okay. And then you had that point there, and then you had the 2 other points of gates of consciousness, and you trace a line down, like if you were completing that drawing of the house or the pentagon, and you have 2 other points that are in the ropey muscles of the neck, kind of half the way between the line of the skull and the line of your shoulders. Here is wind mansion, Here are gates of consciousness, and down more or less here, half the way between the line of the skull and the line of the shoulders, are two other points that are called pillars of heaven. I mean, I love the names that the Chinese discover for each one of these points. So to work with these points, we are going to put our hands with the fingers interlaced, if that's comfortable for you, and then use the thumbs together in wind mansion and the thumbs a little bit separated in gates of consciousness. And then for the third group of two, we are going to use the hand like this to squeeze there in the pillars of heaven. If you cannot use your two hands, your two arms to do this, just use whatever you can and visualize the other, okay? And imagine that you are doing the thing with your two hands or your two arms. Sometimes one shoulder doesn't give so much, or for whatever reason you cannot move so much, then you can kind of visualize yourself doing. And like we were saying this morning, the body reacts to whatever images you give it. So if you give it an image of fear, of being under threat, it will react to that. If you give an image of peace, or giving an image of having a kind of a pleasant sensation in the neck, it will somehow react to that. I know that in some cases you also are trying to overcome actual pain. In that case, I would say first, just touch the area of the pain, wherever it is, and then breathe like if you are bringing the breath to that area, and like if that area is kind of inflating, creating a little bit more space inside. And then as you exhale, let go of the air and let go of the pain, and try to create slowly, progressively, a little bit more sense of a spaciousness around the place in the body that's hurting. Because when something hurts emotionally or physically, we tend to contract. It's a natural reaction. And we can stay contracted, or we can work on seeing how we can somehow work with part of it. I mean, just try it and don't ever judge yourself. Uh, Congratulate yourself that you are trying, and don't expect anything. Just keep doing it without expectations. Because expectations is the same as we were saying this morning about when you wake up at night and you feel, oh, I need to make myself asleep, and you start some kind of anything. And if it doesn't work, you go, see, this is not for me. And I have so much to do tomorrow, and I better start thinking about tomorrow. Of course, you're not going to sleep that way, right? So you go, this doesn't seem to work. Okay, let me still send one more thought of love to someone who might be needing. And then let me see if I can find anybody else in my list that I want to send a thought of love. And as you repeat that again and again and again, eventually perhaps you fall asleep, or at least you get more relaxed than if you are judging yourself and judging your situation and thinking about your future, right? So let's work. I mean, in my school in India, they always used to talk to us about a humble beginning. Just start, don't expecting anything. And I guess a humble continuation. Right. So let's go back to the 5 points. We are going to combine the 5 points, in which we are going to stop for a moment gradually. And then we are going to also, since we are in this particular workshop on how to work with change using Qigong and yoga, we are going to work with the intention of, while we use these release points and the breath, with intentions of letting go of where we are stuck and of bringing new possibilities in our life. So let me see, I have to mute all because there is still some uh, sound coming. All right. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Okay. So we take a more or less comfortable position, whatever that is for you right now. Um, and we are going to interlace the hands and use the two thumbs. So with the interlaced hands, we kind of cradle our head, and then with the thumbs in the wind mansion, we are going to bring the attention to that point, and we are going to inhale like sighing and exhale. Try to have a longer exhalation to relax. And let's do two of those, two or three of those. Just exploring how we feel. Inhaling, exhaling, long, slow, complete exhalation, letting go of whatever is wearing us.
Excuse me, would you mind, Amelia, turning around so we can see the back of you and where you actually are massaging? Thank you.
So at this point, I want you to think on what is bothering you, and remember that you are bringing your attention to the wind mansion, the point that you just saw me having there. And so wind mansion is like the wind of your thoughts, right? So if something has been upsetting you and creating like this storm inside you, the wind of your thought, now all that is going to come to the wind mansion. It's going to settle, be able to rest. So as we work with this first point, wind mansion, I want you to, in this process of working with change, inhale, like sighing, exhale, letting go of whatever has been wearing you or is wearing you. Recognizing that the situation might continue to be the same, but you want to have a different space within you. So what you are doing is letting go of what's constricting you. With every exhalation, you let go of that. And with every inhalation, you open yourself to having more space inside you. And the lovely thing is that this point, this acupressure point, is especially for being able to overcome this frustration, irritability, sense of being overwhelmed. What I'm saying is let go of the pressure inside. So you are kind of parking your stay stationary with your thumbs there, and then the movement is happening mainly through the breath. So you are inhaling, and then as you exhale, you are letting go of the things inside you that are creating pressure in your heart, in your mind, in your nervous system. You may be lying down, or you may be sitting, or whatever is possible for you. This is something I'm developing, combining different things. I mean, on the one hand, acupressure has the points. On the other hand, I have noticed that with the long exhalation, and also there is this technique called letting go of the old, taking in the new, that we were practicing this morning. So I'm combining those two principles. And then I'm combining this kind of self-inquiry. What is bothering me right now? And how can I let go? How can I cultivate the attitude of allowing myself to start letting go of that sense of constriction? And as I was meditating and practicing, I realized that um, the wind mansion is a perfect point to start letting go. Just thinking, okay, this is, everything that has been the windmills of my mind, let go of whatever has been upsetting me. Now we're going to go to the next 2 points, which are gates of consciousness. Again, these points happen in acupuncture, and I'm combining that with the breath, and also I'm going to combine it with a little bit of self-inquiry as we do the practice, so that we have all these different benefits at the same time. On the one hand, we have the opportunity of helping our body to calm down by using these points that are for overcoming irritability, negative emotions. The five of them are very, very powerful on themselves. And then I'm combining it with the breath, which also is super powerful. So you exhale and you relax. And also with um, having some process mentally, emotionally about in gates of consciousness, what do I want to open the portal for? What is that I want to invite in my life with reference to this particular thing that's wearing me right now? For example, let's suppose that you have a health problem that is worrying you, and the more you get worried, the worse you feel. So you are trying to invite, how can I work with this health challenge and at the same time be as calm and clear as possible to see, what do I need to do with this? Or maybe somebody else is sick and you're trying to help, and you're seeing the effect that that's having in your usual normal life before. And again, you are carrying this burden, natural burden, but you also want to work with you in what, how can I work with this situation, like if it's part of something larger that's in reality an opportunity to keep growing. It takes some re-education, but you're trying to invite yourself to cultivate more space. So let's go to, again, hands like this. The thumbs are going to go to gates of consciousness. We are going to be inhaling like sighing, exhaling, letting go of tension, and I'll tell you now the inquiry. So this is here. Inhaling like sighing. Exhaling, letting go of tensions. Long exhalation in as much as possible without forcing. Letting go of what's bothering you. And in this practice, which you could do, for example, every morning when you wake up, or every night as you go to sleep, or both, bringing the possibility of, when you are in gates of consciousness, asking yourself, what is this asking that I nurture? What is this challenge that I'm facing right now? Asking that I nurture. How can it be an opportunity for even greater peace and healing, even in the midst of pain or sickness or concerns? What is it asking that I nurture? And opening yourself as you exhale what's wearing you, inhaling that uh, more bigger space within you, more space there, more relaxation, maybe a different use of your time, or being more in nature, or something, whatever is doable for you, inviting the quality itself. In the next step, we will look at the next point, we will consider the more practical step. But right now, it's first you saw what was bothering you and you were letting go of that in wind mansion. And now you are thinking of, or opening yourself to receive, what is the antidote to this? Or what What is this situation asking for me to cultivate at a deep level? We've seen what's doable for you. When you're still inhaling through the nose, like sighing, and exhaling through the mouth in a long exhalation, maybe with a gentle smile in your lips. Opening yourself to new possibilities, to new insights, through these gates of consciousness. Calming your body and mind and opening up to new possibilities. And then, again, one of the mirror open. I'm going to try to stop noise. Okay. And then in the third one, which is Pillars of Heaven, and that one we are going to go to those points and use our hand like squeezing there. So squeezing over there. And in themselves, they are very powerful. It's also nice to turn the head one way, bring it very slowly to the center, changing hands if you can, looking the other way, coming back. That in itself is very relaxing. You can also combine it with inhaling, exhaling, like sighing, long exhalation. And then we are going to do the third inquiry, which is, as you do this, ask yourself in Pillars of Heaven, what wants to be nurtured? So what would be the first steps? So Pillars of Heaven, what would be the first steps to nurture this? So you were opening yourself to these insights, and now to cultivate it in your life, in this new spring of your life, a new spring, auspicious time that is starting. The winter is finishing, the spring is starting. What do I want to cultivate with reference to this? What would be the first simple steps that I could take to invite this into my life and to nurture it? Always with great compassion and without judging yourself, just kind of exploring possibilities. Something that feels like a gift to you, like not an obligation, but something that you really would like to experience. And maybe inviting also a gentle smile in your lips, which relaxes your facial muscles and relaxes your vagus nerve. Right here, it's inserting the vagus nerve, and that gives relaxation to the rest of the spine and the organs. So, Pillars of Heaven. Inhaling like sighing, exhaling a long exhalation, and envisioning these first steps that you want to take, that you want to cultivate. Planting the seeds. And seeing yourself doing that. And again, maybe something very simple, like being more in nature, or whatever it is that you are longing and you feel that could help you assist you in this time of transition and change. Okay, so these are practices that you could, would be very good if you could incorporate at the end of your day before you go to sleep, even if it is just the points and the breathing or with the self-inquiry. And in the morning, just the points and the breathing, and especially in the morning, the invitation to these new seeds. So in every new day, the invitation to, what is it that I really want to cultivate here? Every day is a new opportunity. So every day, every morning is like a new spring all year round. So, all right. Great. So those were the 5 points and the possibilities of opening up and letting go some of our worries. And this particular method is explained in the video that I sent you today. So that video that says letting go of where you are stuck, or I think something like that has it. Letting go with Yoga and Qigong. I think that's a video. So that has this practice with the points, with the questions. Um, I want you to not have to take too many notes while we are practicing, so that you can go dedicate more time to just practice. And so you see the practice and you can stop the video and take notes, and whatever it is that you like, you can share it with other people. It's all there for whoever might benefit using it in their daily practice. All right, so I also wanted to show you another practice that I do every day and that I have found very transformative. And it's a prayer. It's a prayer that comes from Vedic times, so very, very ancient, 3,000 years old. As such, it has been practiced, I imagine, uninterruptedly in different sites in the world. The same that the Arati ceremony, the one that I sent you, that's practiced in the temple. All these practices have been taught by Baba Haridas, who is the founder of Mama Donna, and he was very well versed in all the scriptures and the practices, and was extremely kind and generous in his teachings, and very, very authentic. I mean, everything that I have seen in Mama Donna totally, totally aligns with the things that I experienced in the school in India. That was a school to train yoga teachers to teach yoga in India, and most of the students were from India. And it was created by Swami Kubalayananda many, many years ago. And at the time I was studying there, the main teacher was Swami Digambarji. So it gave me a very good criteria on how to differentiate what is really yoga, what is the classical yoga, which is mainly a complete science of the body, mind, and spirit, and what is variations that are more or less close or very far away from the real intent of yoga, which is really, as explained in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. So it's something that that brings inner peace, and it's based on not being so identified with a separate self, but knowing that we are part of a much bigger journey. And so in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. I imagine most of you know the book, Yoga Sutras. Sutras are like brief sentences, like aphorisms. They were taught verbally from the master to the student to reflect on them. And then eventually they were collected in a book by Patanjali, which is one of these very old sages, also thousands of years old. And so in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, it's like the Bible of yoga. And it tells, okay, what is yoga? Yoga is the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind, so that the seeker or the practitioner doesn't get confused with extra suffering when it identifies with a separate self. And so you should practice or could practice asanas so that you can sit in a steady position to be able to meditate. And then all the other asanas came like also to help with being comfortable in the body, to be still for some time, so that then you can go into this inner journey of contacting your deeper nature, which is at the heart. Really, it's not in the brain, but it's in the heart. So we know through the heart. Let me show you these prayers. And for that, I need to go to the other one, I think. Yeah, probably. Let's start again. Maybe this would be a little bit easier. So, dwelling in the self, I'm a seed. Pulled towards the world, I separate from thee, expanding. I experience the various aspects of life. Now I withdraw my mind from the flow of the world and dedicate my life to thee, so that you can flow through me, revealing the reality of birth and death and the bondage of Maya. I empty myself so that I can be filled by thee. I relinquish the world and take refuge in thee. You guide the way. With strength and support. I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice. You protect me and dispel my fear. Illusion falls away. So I'm going to send you the text of the prayer. You can just say the prayer and don't worry about the mudras, the gestures of the hands. And eventually I'm also going to send you this so that you can follow the movements. And if you get the primer, you will have drawings on how the fingers go so that you can also practice on your own. And if you like it, it's really a very wonderful practice. It takes very few minutes. Just right now, it seems so different because it's something we haven't been practicing all our life. We just made it this afternoon. So sometimes when we get to this part, people get a little bit confused, like, what? Okay, so you have your left hand like this, your right hand like this, and then you're going to land your right hand on top of your left. Just think where your right pinky is going to go. It's going to go to the index. Where is your right index going to go? It's going to go to your left thumb. And this other thumb is just going to land straight down. Okay, with strength and support. So for support, you are going to create an envelope with your four fingers of your left hand, just fold it like that. And then this pinky that was there, you're going to bring it in. So now you have three fingers that are going to perfectly fit inside that pocket, leaving you with your left thumb, your right index together, like in a steeple, and then the thumb praying over there, the people in the steeple, or something that you do from children's things in America. Yay, that's it. Great. So with strength and support, we feel the support when we pray. We go beyond our concerns with ourselves and we realize our belonging to a greater journey with strength and support. And then again, I shut out the noise of the world, which is what you do when you go in nature, when you take a few hours of silence, when you take a nap, when you do the gardening, etc. So I shut out the noise of the world so that I can hear thy voice, which is really the voice inside you, but it's just our kind of going back and forth between the embodied self and the higher self within you, so that I can hear your voice. You protect me, that sense of a bigger self, of remembering a real nature, helps us to feel protected. You protect me and dispel my fear. This is traditionally the no fear sign. And next time you go to a museum, look that the hand is facing out, not looking at you like this, but aha, very good, Rachel. Good. No fear. Give me the no fear sign. Yeah, no fear. You protect me and dispel my fears. Illusion, once fear is gone, then illusion goes away. I mean, the confusion, the feeling that, oh my God, what's coming? I need to protect myself. I need to really constrict. I really start shrinking right now, goes away because you feel, oh, it's okay. I'm being protected. I'm part of a longer awakening, a bigger journey. So you protect me and dispel my fear. Yeah, illusion falls away. The fear falls away. The not being able to work with change and transition falls away. And we remember that deeper sense of calmness. And we just trust that everything happens for a reason, even if we don't understand why, why the pandemic, why so many things. But even if we look at our nation, it has helped in the process of maturing, of understanding real needs that were there that were not answered before. And now maybe we are starting to address some of them. The same in our personal life and in our own process of aging, and so many processes that are part of this wonderful package of being alive. All right, great. um, it's only 8 minutes to finishing our gathering today, so I'm not going to teach you, I think, the meditation of the three centers. We'll do that tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow we also do the morning routine if that's something that you want, or I'll bring something so that tomorrow, I mean, today we were resourcing, right? We were getting in touch in this second session with the light within. And tomorrow is the path forward, which is first we got unstuck as much as we could from where we were stuck. And we have now some practices to keep practicing that being unstuck. Look at that video that I sent you today. I might send you something else, but I don't know. I'm working on that. But at least look at that video. And then tomorrow we'll hone on what are the seeds that we want to cultivate and how are we going to cultivate it. so that we can move forward and it doesn't get to be just one more retreat that was very exciting and then we forgot all the insights and we went back to being in the slump or wherever where we were before we started. I would love for you to get inspiration to practice every day a little bit. There's a
I
beautiful
have a quote for you, Amelia, that I think is really sweet and really short. And it's like what you've been telling us. Nothing grows overnight. Keep watering your soul. You'll get there.
great, beautiful. I mean, it totally goes with this other quote that I was going to mention to you
Oh,
from Milarepa, which is, this monk, Tibetan monk from many, many thousands of years ago. It's exactly the same thought. Uh, you will get there, right? So he says, in the beginning, nothing happens, which means you are starting to practice and you go, I don't know if this is for me. I mean, I don't feel anything. I don't feel an immediate change. But of course, I mean, you have been conditioned for years and years and years. So you start, and sometimes you have to continue with the practices until you start actually feeling something. You have let go enough of the tension and you are opening enough that you start noticing something. So he says, in the beginning, nothing happens. In the middle, nothing sticks because you go and you think, oh, now I got it. And then you do it a few times and maybe you got it. And then something happens and you leave it and you go, but I thought I had it. Yeah, but it means you need to keep practicing. So, and at the end, nothing is lost. So if you keep practicing every day, you get there, and then your body and your mind just kind of naturally starts integrating all this and reminding you, and when you have change and when you have something that would before have make you really angry and really upset and rob you of your calm or your clarity or make you more sick, now you are remembering and you are able to, okay, yeah, the situation's still complicated, it's still challenging, but I know how to access my inner resources and I know how to keep cultivating and have this natural tendency now to do it. So I hope that some of this helps you and keep practicing, and from the practice, more new seeds and fruits are going to come.